Hey, Guelph and Wellington County drivers. This is Latif here with Delivery Detailing. Today, we want to talk about something very interesting today, about a topic called ceramic coatings. More specifically, something along the lines of the five most common myths people think when getting a ceramic coating. A lot of my clients, when they buy a brand new car, for example, you buy it from a 2025, 2026, a Mazda dealership or a Ford dealership, etc. What they typically find is that when they buy the car and they go through the sales process, the dealership tends to upsell them on this thing called a ceramic coating, which is typically, they charge about $1,000 to $2,000 for this coating. And typically, based on my understanding, the dealership does a really good job explaining what it does. And when they do explain a lot, they actually explain the wrong things, and they almost over exaggerate what a coating is. So in today's video, we're gonna actually showcase you the five most common questions we typically get asked about coatings. As someone who installs coatings here in Guelph, Ontario, we have a shop in Smith Avenue. The first one we want to talk about actually is, and this one actually kind of makes me shudder a little bit, is it getting a ceramic coating makes your car scratch proof. The amount of times that I get a customer saying, hey, I want to get a ceramic coating, and I ask them why. They say, yeah, because it's going to help my car against scratches. I was like, who told you that? The dealership? Okay. Well, it's yes and no at the same time. It's true and false. And what I mean by that is, if you're looking for a complete scratch prevention method, that can prevent against rock chips, stone chips, deeper scratches, all that nasty stuff, ceramic coating is going to do none of that. Ceramic coatings might that tiny bit help against lighter spills and scratches that may occur from improper washing techniques, and maybe take it to a car wash, God forbid. But it's not going to be a scratch proof, what is it called, layer, because what it typically does is it adds a little bit of hardness, but the hardness is so minuscule you can't notice it. What it does, though, is whenever you wash your car, though, whether you wash it at home, take it to a detail shop, and God forbid, take it to the occasional car wash, no judgment here, is that because of the hydrophobic nature and the slick surface that the ceramic coating has, the dirt and the grime and traffic, what's the word, the traffic film, bird droppings, all that nasty stuff in your paint, when you pressure wash it or you do a contact wash, which is using a wash mitt, a brush, etc., because of the hydrophobic and the slickness, the grit and the dirt doesn't actually scrape as much against the paint, and so it kind of glides better. And so that's where it kind of helps when it comes to scratch prevention. But don't get me wrong, if you get a ceramic coating and you drive around the Wellington County area, a lot of my clientele is from Wellington County, it's not going to prevent helping those rock chips. We've had some clients, even their windshield as well, they had these small stone chips. That's not going to do much on that. But what is going to help, though, is, again, the tree sap, the pollen. When you're washing your car, it's safer and more slick, if that makes sense. After I get a ceramic coating, I don't ever have to wash my car. Guys, who's writing these questions down here? This is unbelievable. So, so it's funny. There are two types of people who need to get a ceramic coating. Okay, the first type is people who love their cars and want to take care of it. Get a ceramic coating. And then, ironically, the people who don't give a crap about their car get a ceramic coating as well. And you're probably thinking, Latif, how does that make sense? If one person cares about the car, get a ceramic coating, the other person doesn't care, get a ceramic coating? I'll tell you why. So with ceramic coating, it's not something you completely abuse. It's something that makes your life easier. So I've had a client the other day, wonderful customer. I had a Tacoma, and she brought the car in for full interior detail and a basic wash. And when we were washing the car, we've noticed these circles that look more dull. I may or may not put a photo of this in the video, but these circles that look dull, and that could have been caused from bird dropping or tree sap that's left on your paint for too long. So I'm sure you guys already had this a couple times happen when you drive your car, parking in a parking lot, maybe under a night lamp or whatever, and you come back the other day or later that day, you see a bird dropping. Bird drops is acidic, so what that means is that if you let it sit on your paint for an extended amount of time, I think it's about a week or so, it's going to slowly eat into your clear coat, which is basically your paint, basically. And if you don't remove it within the next few days, it's going to basically burn through your paint and kind of damage your paint. So even if you remove the bird dropping or the tree sap, you're going to notice like these like faded circle marks that cannot be gone off unless you buff the vehicle, which is paint correction, et cetera, which could cost you, it's a bit expensive. So so basically what I'm trying to say here is if you get a ceramic coating, it's going to help you a lot, because if you have that trace up and bird dropping, you are able to, obviously don't let it sit forever. It doesn't mean you just because you have a coating doesn't mean you abuse the car, but rather it gives you a bigger time frame, right? It's probably going to be 3 to 4 times as long to remove that bird dropping, if I had to guess. It's very powerful, and so it's designed to resist against those things. And so when you also, funnily enough, when you try to remove that bird dropping, it's a lot safer to do so because it's slick as well. It's easier. It's also easier to do so because it's hydrophobic, right? So now what that means for somebody who doesn't care about the car is this. If I'm the type of person who washes my car once every few months, by the way, you'd be surprised. My sister has her car like that. I was like, how could you? She has like a nice 2022 Hyundai Kona and she doesn't wash her car once every 6 months. I'm like, sister, you need to absolutely get a ceramic coating because you don't give a crap about your car. So, because, okay, if you don't care about your car and you like, she's the type of person that waits for it to rain for to wash her car. I was like, okay, get a coating because of the hydrophobic nature and because of how easy to clean and maintain. When it does rain, it does a better job. And then during those time frames where it does not rain, whatever crap there is on your vehicle will not damage your vehicle as much. I'll be upfront with you. She still needs to wash her car, but yeah, some people just don't really care. And so get a coating even if you don't care about your car. Okay, so this one is a bit goofy. And I've heard maybe 1 or 2 detailing companies around the Ontario area do say this. So that you have to get a ceramic topper on your coating every 6 months or so after getting a ceramic coating. And first and foremost, you don't have to get it. So it's just a more maintenance thing. The more you put stuff on your paint, the better. So just because you get a ceramic coating doesn't mean you cannot actually put a ceramic sealant or a wax or anything on top of that. You can always put on top, and the more the merrier actually. You're just stacking layers of protection. But you don't absolutely need to get a ceramic sealant, whatever, or a topper every single 6 months, right? A lot of times these companies try to sell you some things, and I'll be upfront with you. I might offer that service down the line here. If some people really want to make sure that coating is fully 100% maintained, we might offer that service. But you by no means necessary need to get this topping. Once you get a coating, let's say we have a 3-year, 5-year, 8-year, which is what we offer. If you get an 8-year coating, as long as you don't completely abuse the car and don't wash it once every 6 months, like my sister just did, unbelievable, then the coating should last you around 8 years or so. Even longer, by the way, if you take care of your car well. So yeah. Number 4, after getting a ceramic coating, you can't ever take it to a car wash anymore. So this is something that I hear from a lot of detailers who are more on the ideal perfectionist side than the realistic side. I'm more realistic when it comes to coatings, right? I'm not sure if you guys see, I have a 2012 GMC Acadia. It's a big hunk of a car. And I've got my car ceramic coated because, believe it or not, I don't really care too much about my car as much as if I had a Porsche, yeah, I'll probably baby it more often. But this is, a utility vehicle. It's something that I would do. And even then I have it coated because, I'm realistic in the sense that it's going to be abused a lot, and so might as well protect it and give it easier. I don't have to think about washing it as often as well, right? I still wash it from time to time, but I don't have to wash it as often. But how this kind of tackles to my question about the myth is, I had a client actually the other day. I think it was no, sorry, that was a client who asked about if you need to have a. This is myth number 5. We'll talk to that later in the second year. But myth number 4. So there are 2 types of car washes, as we all know here in Guelph, Ontario, just in Ontario, Wellington County, etc. That area. You have a touchless car wash, and then you have a touch car wash, right? The biggest touch car wash here in Guelph, Ontario right now is called Valet Car Wash. Fairly decent company. They have an unlimited all-you-can-wash sticker, etc. It does the job, right? The problem with touch car wash is obviously it tends to spoil your paint and might damage your vehicle a little bit, but you get what you pay for, right? And that type of wash does abrade your coating over time, because what a coating is essentially, it's a layer of glass. I've seen a couple of videos of it. It's really cool. If you see a layer of a coating, if you see a bottle of a ceramic coating cured and they smash the bottle, it becomes a bunch of glass. The inside of the coating is actually glass. So that's what's actually on your paint itself. And what happens when you take it to a car wash, when you take it to that, the tunnel, brushes, whatever, slowly but surely you're abrading the coating over time, almost sanding it down in a way. And so if you get an 8-year ceramic coating and you wash it basically every other day at the automatic car wash, it might not last you 8 years because of the abrasion, right? The automatic, but you also have, the touchless car wash, which typically utilizes more on the acidic and more caustic chemicals, because there's no contact wash. Contact wash is very important when it comes to removing traffic film, which is basically like that film you see that you have to wipe it down. You have to use some sort of contact. You can't just rinse it off and air dry it, right? Unless you're looking for just an okay job, which if that's what you're looking for, that's fine with me. But just because you get a coating doesn't mean you can take it to the car for the rest of your life. But just keep in mind that if you take it every other day or so, it might not last you 8 years to get an 8-year coating. But if you take it, like once every week or so, right, to the car wash, because we're all realistic here. Who has the time or even the money to, take it to a professional exterior detail every single week or so? Some people do. I love those people. You know who I'm talking about. But some people don't, right? And so some people are realistic. They'd rather slap a sticker on their windshield for like $20, $25 a month, or you can scratch car wash. Whatever. I think it's I wash. I'm very biased. And if you get an 8-year coating with us and you take it to the car every week or so on your Corolla or something, it might not last you 8 years. It may last you like 6 years instead, which is pretty fair still. That's pretty convenient, right? So yeah. And then finally for today, getting a ceramic coating. Now that I get a ceramic coating, which is myth number 5, now you have to wash it with a certain type of soap in a certain way. This one, this is very important actually. So this is the story I was about to mention. So we had a client. Well, he was a legend actually. I love that guy. He recently bought a 2025 Chevy Suburban. It was the biggest 7-seater SUV, even bigger than a truck that I've ever seen, honestly. And he was like, the first question he called me on the phone was like, he was just inquiring about ceramic coating. He was like, hey, a quick question. I was like, he says to me, is it true that if I get a ceramic coating that now I have to wash it with a ceramic coating safe soap or something like that, like a tailored one? I told him that's absolutely not the case. Ceramic coating is supposed to make your life easier, not harder and complicated, right? And so, I mean, if you are using traditional automotive car soap on your bare paint, which is arguably significantly more, less resistant than a ceramic coating, which is people advertise it as like, I think it's like 15H hardness. It can, withstand 2 pH acidity to like 13 pH, some crazy number like that. A regular car soap is not going to do jack crap, honestly. It's not going to do anything. And so this is just another selling tactic that ceramic coating manufacturers do to sell you more products. Okay, it's something like, let's say if I buy, I'm not going to mention the company. There's a company here in Guelph, ceramic coating company, not detailed inshallah, like ceramic coating company in Guelph that sells like toppers, sells you have to wash it with a certain soap. They're using outdated technology from 10 years ago, right? The ceramic coating technology improves significantly over time. Every year we look into different technology and better ways to make things faster. And so you don't have to do that. Just wash it with regular soap, car soap, or rinseless wash, which is, by the way, we might make another video on rinseless wash, by the way, the best type of car soap ever on the planet if you want to save water and be more efficient and have more fun. Spend less time washing your car as well. So, well, with that being said, here we kind of covered the 5 most common questions that typically get in the myths when it comes to ceramic coatings. If you guys have any other questions regarding this in terms of ceramic coating, in terms of like, hey, what about this, that, feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. I'll do my absolute best to respond to all the comments that I get here and regarding because I want to take care of my community here in Guelph and Wellington County. And make sure to subscribe here because you'll get more videos like this so that you can actually learn about detailing in our community. And then we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.